Hello everyone. So now we are at our lesson 3. So today we're gonna keep learning our the initials and the finals, and we're gonna learn a couple special rules. The concept is not complicated. It's initial and final, and you make a word with that pronunciation. But there are a couple of special rules that we need to keep in mind. So the first one are the tones that we know every pronunciation could be either like flat or going up, ah, ah. Why is that important? Because each different tone will give you different word, and possibly they're gonna mean different things. Even the same pronunciation, same tone could mean different things as well. But for different tones, they most probably mean different things. So that's why it is important to keep the tones right. Okay, for example, give you some examples. Like this one, an, yan, yan. It means smoke or cigarettes. The same pronunciation, but with the second tone, yan, yan. It means salt. This one, yan, yan. It means eyes, your eyes. Yan, yan. It means it could mean a kind of bird, which is maybe called swallow. I'm not even sure, but that's just to illustrate that different tone means completely different things. Give you another example. Xie, ye, xie, xie, xie. It means thank you, thank you. Of course, we usually say 谢谢 with two double the same word, but that means thank you. With the second tone, it means it is pronounced like 也, 鞋, 鞋. It means shoes. So they're completely different, right? So another one. For example, this 知, 翁, 正, 正, 知, 一, 治, 政治, 政治. It means politics. Same 正, 直, 正直, 正直. It means honest. It means somebody's honest. You can say somebody is 正直. Another example. This one, they're all the first tone. It looks a little, I didn't write very well, but they're all the first tone. So, 通通知通知通知通知 it means a notice. Notice like to inform someone something. If it change like this, 同志同志同志 it means comrade, like your friend. So 同志. So they're completely different things. So that's why you need to make sure you pronounce each word with the proper tones. All right, so another special rule that we're gonna do today is so-called neutral tone, like the tone that doesn't pronounce. We don't pronounce it very with any kind of tone. It's like kind of flow through. It's very light and neutral tone. For example, the example we just did before. Thank you. We say 谢谢,谢谢. So the first is kind of harder. You pronounce it clearly, and the second one is just lighter, and you just kind of let it go through very light. So it's like 谢谢,谢谢,谢谢. Another example. It means his. It belongs to him. So 他的,他的,他的. I'll give you another example. He, 熬,好,好,好吧,好吧,好吧. It means okay, that's fine. 好 means okay, but it's the reason why it's neutral. It probably means this one doesn't really have any special meaning. It's just a way people very used to say things, so it becomes like a habit of saying like this. So it's 好吧. All right, so we another more examples would be, remember, I think we have learned this. It's a mother. It's mama, mama. The first word is already means mother, and second word is just with a neutral tone. It means something we just repeat or we just used to say this way. So it's like mama, mama. Or brother, 哥哥,哥哥,哥哥. This is O. So 头头头头头发头发头发头发 it means hair, your hair. 一爷爷爷爷爷爷爷爷爷 it means grandfather 爷爷 I think most probably the neutral tone doesn't really have a special rule why it is neutral. Sometimes, as I said, it is because it's just a repetition of the first word, so it kind of get its neutral tone. But sometimes it does has a meaning like 头发, like this one means hair. It does have its own you can't just say toe and doesn't mean anything. You have to say 头发 to make it a hair. It is important to say that. So to have the fa, I mean at the end. But so there's no specific rule to say which one it's a neutral tone, which one is not. It's more like coming from your experience with the language as you go along, and then you will discover more with neutral tones. So there's no specific rule to say which one you need to pronounce as neutral. It's just whenever you see there's no tone marked on top of it, you would understand it's a neutral tone. You need to pronounce it really light. For example, this one is sister. 姐姐姐姐姐姐姐姐姐 And we have learned also this one like father. 爸爸爸爸爸爸 or another word 的位对了对了对了对 means yes, right. L just a neutral sound, doesn't mean anything special. 对了 means that's right, that's right. 对了对了 So that's the first rule of today, which is this neutral tone that we need to be aware of. Second thing is when there's two third tone, when the third tones meet each other, we need to change the first one into the second tone. For example, 你 means you, right? 你好好 means well. 你好你好 So by naturally it becomes like this. The reason why it is simply because it's easier to pronounce rather than two third tones. It's kind of difficult to pronounce, so that's why when there's third tone and third tone, we change the first one into the second tone. So it becomes like 你好你好 It means hello or how are you, right? Remember last time we said that? Or we give more examples of this. Let me see if I can find a good example of these. For example, this one. These are difficult finals and also a little bit difficult on the initial side as well. This is 手不一熬表手表。That's kind of difficult to pronounce, right? So we change it to second tone. So it becomes 手表。It means watch, a watch that you put on your wrist. A wristwatch, 手表。Oh, I'm sorry, this is too much, so let's do it this way. This is not 很 it means very. It's a adverb, means very. 很 冷 cold, very cold. 很冷 You can pronounce it this way, but it's easier to pronounce it and this better to pronounce it like 很冷 Okay, so that's our first rule of today, which means the second rule of today, actually. The first rule was the neutral tone, and now we're at the second rule of today, which is the third tone meet each other. The first one changes to the second tone. It's just to ease the pronunciation. Okay, then we are gonna talk a little bit about these special initials. 鸡 qi 西 zi ci si. Pronounce with me another time. 鸡 qi 西 zi ci si. Okay, the first rule. This initial, each one of those initials, when they meet E as final, they pronounce as if nothing changes. It's the same pronunciation as you pronounce the initial on a standalone basis by himself. This is G, qi, xi, zi, zi. You don't pronounce, for example, I think people look at this, usually pronounce it as z, 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 e, z. You don't have to pronounce that e at the end. You just keep the initial pronunciation like z, z, rather than z. It is z, c, s. You see what I mean? Like, don't pronounce the e too hard. Just let the initial pronunciation, just keep the initial pronunciation longer. So all these, don't pronounce the e too much. Keep the initial pronunciation as it is. So again, ji, qi, xi, zi, ci, si. Another special rule for the three first initials is that, remember this final we pronounce usually as u. However, when they have two dots on top of them, they are pronounced as yu. So ju, chu, xu. When it's like this, you actually do not write those dots. So you just write like this, but they keep the pronunciation as yu, not u. So ju, chu, xu. So you don't write them with the two dots, but they're still pronounced as yu. So that's a special rule for those three initials. Why? It's simply because they can't pronounce with, they can't be combined with the u. If they're written like this, it means it is u actually. It just doesn't have the two dots on top of them, but they're still pronounced as yu because they can't have u as initials with those three, the u as finals with those three initials. Okay? So the same concept with those e, what I said, because when you don't pronounce too much those e, it's applicable to those three initials as well. So when you write zhi, you don't pronounce g, you pronounce zhi, chi, shi, zhi, chi, shi. Okay, so that's our third rule today, which is those special initials. When they meet the final E, it's like the pronunciation of the initials keep going rather than stress the pronunciation of the final. And also when ji, qi, xi meet yu, you don't need to write the two dots, but it's still pronounced as yu, ju, chu, xu. Okay, so that's the three special rules of today. Now let's do just a couple of sentences, a couple words, if you want to say, so that we know we have learned some words rather than just pronunciations, right? So, oh, geez, I'm sorry. First of all, I need to write properly. 你好,你好, it means hello, 你好. So when somebody telling you 你好, you respond to it as 你好 as well. When you first meet someone, so you say 你好, and the other person respond 你好. Look at this. Chinese, actually, you don't have to, when you make a question, you don't have to say switch the position of the verb, noun, the subject, the verb to make it as a question. You just replace where you usually have the response by the question, by the word of the question. If I making any sense, it means we keep the structure, start with the subject, the verb, and the complement. We keep always, most probably all the, like say most of the time, we keep the same structure, keep the same order. And if you want to make a question, you just replace the part that you don't know by the word of question, by the question word. Like say, if you don't know who, you just replace the person's name by who, but you don't change the order of the components of the sentence. So we start here with the subject, which is 你, and then the verb 叫, 叫, which means name. It's actually name as a verb. 你叫什么?什么? Look, here you have a neutral tone, means because it doesn't mean too much. It just follows along with the 什么,什么. Okay, repeat after me. 你叫. Sorry, so this is actually returned to this third tone. 你叫什么? You are named as what? So means what's your name? 你叫什么? 什么? It's what? It's a question. The word as the question word. What should I say that? How could I make myself clear? 什么 means what? So 你叫什么? What's your name? 你叫什么? And then your answer would be 我. Remember, start with the subject, which is me, my, or I. 我叫 我叫 I'm called 小明. 小明, that's just a name. You can call your name is like say you can say your true name just to have a little conversation with someone. Okay, so let's repeat. 你好，你好，你叫什么？我叫小明。Is that too fast? Let's try it again. 你好，你好，你叫什么？我叫小明。Okay, so um mark the let's mark the end of the lesson, and I hope you enjoyed it. And keep practicing. That's the most important thing. And I'll see you next week. Bye bye. 阿娘。阿娘，Can you help me? Put my lesson into this lesson put into YouTube channel here.